In the heart of the jungle, where shadows breathe and silence hunts, a ghost moves between the trees. Golden eyes pierce the darkness. Every heartbeat, every step could be your last sound before the forest swallows it whole. This is not a monster from stories. This is power carved by nature itself, muscle, stealth, and precision born from 1,000 years of survival. The Bengal tiger, the silent assassin of the wild. But behind those burning amber eyes lies something more, a secret world of dominance, heartbreak, and raw beauty. Every hunt tells a story. Every roar shakes the bones of the jungle itself. Today, we enter that story. We follow the unseen path of one of Earth's greatest predators, where strength meets silence and nature writes its own law. So before we dive into the depths of this wild mystery, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and drop your thoughts in the comments below, because what you're about to discover will leave you in awe. Now step quietly, because the hunter is already watching. The sound of rustling leaves fades in, distant thunder rolls across the horizon. The camera glides low, brushing past wet ferns and broken branches. A quiet heartbeat echoes beneath the hum of the jungle. The jungle doesn't announce its king. It doesn't hang banners or carve crowns. Yet, deep in the emerald abyss of India's wild heart, every creature knows who reigns here. The Bengal tiger does not need to roar to command respect. Its very scent, a subtle musk of power and warning, writes invisible borders across miles of wilderness. It marks trees with its claws, leaving deep, deliberate scars, signatures of dominance that no other predator dares to cross. This is not arrogance, it is survival sculpted into instinct. The tiger's kingdom is not made of gold or stone, it is written in silence, in scent, in fear. When a tiger walks, the jungle listens. The rustle of leaves halts, birds freeze mid-song, and deer lift their heads, sensing something older than time itself. The tiger does not chase, it owns. Each step is a claim, every turn a declaration. Its territory can stretch over 100 square kilometers, vast enough to hold valleys, rivers, and thick canopies that never see the sun. But within those borders, only one tiger rules. Males patrol relentlessly, traveling through mud and monsoon rains, tracing the faint scents of rivals or mates. Each boundary crossed could mean battle, a violent, silent clash where muscle meets fury in seconds that decide life, death, and dominance. For the tiger, land is life. Territory means access to prey, the deer, the boar, the elusive gore that roam beneath the banyan trees. Without it, hunger sets in, and hunger makes ghosts of even the strongest. That's why each mark, each trail of scent, is more than a warning. It's a lifeline. Even wind carries the language of power here. When it shifts, bringing the scent of a rival, the tiger's muscles tense, its pupils narrow, and instinct floods its veins. It moves like liquid fire, silent, fluid, deliberate. It's not just protecting ground, it's protecting legacy. The Bengal tiger isn't just a predator, it's a balance keeper. Every step it takes shapes the forest itself. When it hunts the deer, the vegetation thrives. When it rests by rivers, the ecosystem shifts around its rhythm. Remove the tiger and the jungle begins to crumble quietly, unseen at first. Too many herbivores, stripped foliage, empty waterholes. Nature needs its king, even if that king rules unseen. But there's poetry in its solitude. For all its strength, the tiger is alone, not by choice, but by design. It was born into a life of silence where trust is rare and isolation is survival. Its eyes have seen more moons than most creatures live to witness, each one rising over the forest like a torch in the endless dark. When the night deepens and fog begins to crawl along the ground, the tiger moves again, not out of hunger this time, but ritual. It retraces its boundaries, inspecting its realm with the precision of a ruler inspecting a throne carved by time. Sometimes at dawn, the tiger pauses near a riverbank, watching its reflection ripple across the surface. For a moment it sees itself, the ghost of the jungle, the phantom of survival, the burning heart of an ecosystem that still breathes because of its presence. And then, just as quietly, it disappears into the mist. No fanfare, no farewell. Only the fading imprint of its paw in the soft mud, a silent signature of the true monarch of the wild. The jungle returns to its hum, pretending nothing happened. But every creature knows the king has passed by. The jungle exhales, a whisper of mist curling between ancient roots. Dew clings to the leaves like 1,000 tiny mirrors, reflecting the pale glow of dawn. Somewhere, between the hush and the heartbeat of the forest, something stirs. No drumbeat announces its arrival. No cry breaks the silence. The Bengal tiger moves, not as an intruder, but as part of the jungle's own breath. Its body, vast and coiled with muscle, glides through the undergrowth like water through a dream. There is no sound, no warning, no tremor in the earth beneath its paws. You wouldn't know it was there until the moment it wanted you to, and by then, it would already be too late. That is the enigma of this creature, a paradox of immense power wrapped in absolute quiet. How does something weighing nearly 500 pounds move without breaking a twig or stirring a leaf? It's a question even science answers with awe. Every step the tiger takes is calculated. Its padded paws cushion impact, its claws retract fully, and its spine bends like silk. Each motion is a whisper, each pause a heartbeat stretched into eternity. The tiger doesn't walk on the jungle, it walks within it, as though it was born from its shadows. When it stalks, time itself seems to slow. The forest holds its breath, the cicadas stop their song, the wind dares not rustle, and even the river seems to flow more quietly. Its amber eyes fix on the faintest movement ahead, a sambar deer grazing beneath the vines, unaware of the ghost drawing closer. The tiger lowers itself into the earth, chest brushing the soil, tail twitching in perfect rhythm with its pulse. It becomes a living shadow, melting into the dappled light that filters through the canopy. Every muscle locks into place, not tense, but ready, coiled like a bow waiting to sing. Then, without warning, the forest explodes. The tiger launches forward, a blur of gold and black, power compressed into a heartbeat. The distance between life and death collapses into a single leap. In that moment, you understand why silence was its greatest weapon. The deer barely turns its head before the jungle's silence breaks, a flash of claws, a heavy thud, a gasp swallowed by the trees, and then nothing. Silence returns. The assassin has struck. But this silence isn't just about hunting, it's survival. In the dense wilderness where every sound carries, noise means vulnerability. To remain unseen is to remain alive. Even while crossing rivers, the tiger moves like mist, each ripple deliberate, each breath controlled. Its whiskers sense the air currents, its padded feet test the ground. Its heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the forest itself. This stillness is not absence, it is mastery. That's why locals call it bay, a word that carries reverence, fear, and respect in equal measure. Villagers who live near tiger reserves speak of hearing nothing before finding paw prints near their huts at dawn. No roar, no growl, just the quiet mark of something powerful that passed through the night unseen. It's as though the tiger isn't just part of the jungle, it is the jungle condensed into flesh and breath. Even when it rests, it remains alert. Its ears pivot at the faintest flutter of wings. Its eyes follow the soft drift of shadows between trees. Every instinct is sharpened by centuries of evolution. It knows when to move, when to vanish, when to wait. In a world that rewards noise, the tiger's silence becomes its crown, proof that real power never needs to announce itself. And perhaps that's the most haunting truth of all, that something so immense, so fearsome, can move through the world unseen, unheard, untouched. It is a lesson from nature itself that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it simply breathes quietly in the dark, waiting, watching, ready. When you stand in that jungle, surrounded by the whispers of wind and the echo of your own heartbeat, you realize something unsettling. You don't hear the tiger. You feel it in the air, in the soil, in the silence pressing against your chest. Because the tiger is not coming. The tiger is already there. A low rumble trembles through the jungle floor. Not thunder, not the river, something heavier. The air thickens, the trees seem to lean closer, and in the stillness of dawn, power moves unseen. It begins with a whisper of muscle, a single breath of wind, and then a strike that could crush bone like paper. The Bengal tiger does not fight for chaos, it strikes for precision. Every movement, every ounce of its strength, is born from evolution's most patient masterpiece. Beneath that golden coat lies a machine of nature, one that has perfected the art of silent violence. Its strength isn't a myth. It's a measurable force that defies belief. When a tiger swings its massive paw, the motion looks graceful, almost lazy. Yet that one blow can break a buffalo's spine, tear bark from trees, or fling prey twice its size to the ground. Scientists studying tigers in the Sundarbans once found claw marks so deep in mangrove trunks they looked carved by tools. But no, those were messages left by the living storm that rules the forest. Even in stillness you can feel it, that quiet power coiled beneath its skin. The muscles along its shoulders ripple like liquid bronze, each one tuned for one purpose, of domination. And yet, what's even more astonishing is how controlled that power is. A tiger could kill with ease, but often it chooses restraint. When it carries its cubs in its jaws, those same teeth that can crush skulls hold the tiny bodies with impossible gentleness. This is the duality of the beast: destruction and tenderness, death and care, bound in one being. When it hunts, that strength becomes art. The tiger doesn't chase, it calculates. It studies wind direction, measures distance, and reads the rhythm of its prey's heartbeat through sound and vibration. Every hunt is a ballet between power and patience. For hours, it may follow silently, muscles relaxed, conserving energy. Then, when the final moment arrives, the jungle becomes a blur of motion. The tiger bursts forward, propelling itself with a force so immense it can leap over 20 feet in a single bound. The prey rarely understands what has happened. The world just blinks, and it's over. That power isn't just physical. It's psychological. Even other predators respect the tiger's silence. Leopards vanish from shared territories. Crocodiles hesitate near the banks where it drinks, and wild boars scatter at the faintest whiff of its scent. The tiger doesn't need to assert its dominance. It embodies it. The forest bends around its will like soldiers parting for a king who never speaks. Yet, there's something almost tragic about this power, because every act of strength, every victorious hunt, carries the shadow of extinction. Human deforestation, poaching, and encroachment have pushed the Bengal tiger to the edge. The forests grow smaller, and so do its hunting grounds. A creature born to roam freely through hundreds of square kilometers is now confined by the boundaries of survival. Power, once boundless, now faces its greatest enemy, walls built by man. Still, the tiger adapts. It always has. It swims across rivers, stalks through tea gardens, and moves through moonlit villages like a ghost reclaiming lost ground. Even when cornered, its spirit refuses to surrender. That unbroken will, that burning defiance, is what truly defines its power. You can see it in its eyes, two glowing orbs that reflect not just hunger, but memory. Memory of forests that once stretched beyond horizons, of generations that ruled without fear. Every muscle, every roar carries that inheritance. When it growls, it's not just warning prey, it's announcing the weight of ages. That low, thunderous vibration can travel through the air for miles, shaking the leaves and reminding every creature that this land, this heartbeat of wilderness, still belongs to the tiger. And so even as the world changes, even as cities creep closer and the jungles shrink, the Bengal tiger remains what it has always been, nature's masterpiece of control and chaos. Its power is not random, it is sacred. It moves with intention, strikes with purpose, and reminds us that true strength is never loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. Because power, real power, is silent until it decides otherwise. The jungle quiets again. A single paw print presses into the earth, deep, perfect, eternal. The sign of a king who does not roar for attention, only for truth. The moon hangs low over the canopy, a silver coin lost in a sea of leaves. The forest seems still, but somewhere within that stillness, eyes open. Two golden orbs, glowing like molten fire, stare through the darkness. The Bengal tiger awakens. Night belongs to it. While humans stumble in the dark, blind and unsure, the tiger walks through it as though it were daylight. Its world does not fade when the sun falls. It transforms. In the deep hours when the jungle hums with invisible life, the tiger becomes something more than a predator. It becomes the shadow itself. Every step it takes is guided not by guesswork, but by one of nature's most extraordinary gifts, the power to see through darkness. The tiger's eyes are not just windows to its soul, they are tools of exquisite survival. Behind that amber glare lies a masterpiece of evolution, a lens designed to command the night, its pupils large and vertical, widened to capture every flicker of light, every glint of reflection off a leaf or insect's wing. But what truly gives the tiger its spectral vision is a layer of tissue behind the retina known as the tapetum lucidum. This mirrored surface reflects light back through the retina, doubling the chance of detection, creating the eerie, glowing eyes that haunt the jungle after dusk. When you see those eyes shimmer in the dark, you're not just seeing reflection, you're witnessing adaptation carved by millions of years. With this ability, the tiger can see 6 times better than a human in dim light. It moves with total certainty through a world that to us would seem pitch black, where we would see only shadow and fear. The tiger sees details, the twitch of a tail, the shimmer of sweat on a deer's flank, the faintest tremor of movement through grass. This night vision transforms the tiger into the ultimate hunter of darkness. It doesn't chase blindly, it glides with purpose. Its whiskers sense vibrations. Its ears rotate independently to track faint sounds. The flutter of a bat, the rustle of a snake. The jungle at night is alive with whispers, and the tiger hears all of them. The nocturnal silence that feels peaceful to us is, for the tiger, a map, a symphony of signals guiding it to its next meal. And yet, there's something almost spiritual about this vision. To see the tiger at night is to feel the ancient rhythm of the earth, the balance between light and dark, life and death. In some cultures, people believe the tiger's glowing eyes are souls of the ancestors watching over the forest. In others, they are said to be the flames of forgotten gods, burning quietly in the dark to remind humans of what true power looks like, silent, patient, unseen. But this gift of sight is not just for hunting, it's survival in a realm filled with danger. The jungle after sunset is not a quiet place, it's a theater of predators where even the king must remain cautious. Crocodiles lurk in the rivers, leopards prowl the treetops, and humans with flashlights sometimes invade from beyond the forest line, yet the tiger's eyes cut through it all. They don't just see the world, they interpret it. A flash of light, a flicker of motion, a sound too soft for human ears, all of it merges into a clear image in its mind. There is a haunting beauty in this mastery. Imagine standing in the pitch black heart of the jungle, the air thick with mist. You hear nothing, you see nothing, and yet, in that same darkness, a tiger could be watching you from 30 feet away, studying every breath you take, every movement you make. It would not attack out of rage or hunger, but with ancient precision, guided by senses you could never comprehend. What makes this even more profound is that the tiger does not fear the night, it is the night. The darkness that blinds others empowers it. The world that hides everything from us reveals itself completely to the tiger. It moves through it like a ruler through his own kingdom, unchallenged, unseen, unstoppable. When dawn finally breaks and the light filters through the trees, the tiger retreats, not defeated but fulfilled. It disappears into the dense green, leaving only faint paw prints glistening with dew. And as the sun rises, the jungle returns to its daily rhythm, unaware that just hours before, it had belonged entirely to another world, a world ruled by golden eyes and silent grace. The tiger does not just live in the jungle, it reigns in the darkness between heartbeats, where vision fades for all others. The night is its crown, the shadows its throne, and those glowing eyes, those ancient, fearless eyes, are the torches that have illuminated the mystery of the wild for centuries. The jungle waits. There's a strange silence before it happens, the kind that feels alive, vibrating under the skin. Then, from deep within the green abyss, it begins, a sound not just heard but felt. A sound that makes the air tremble and the earth shiver, the roar of the Bengal tiger. It's not simply a call, it's a declaration. When a tiger roars, the jungle listens. Trees seem to echo it, the wind carries it, and every living thing, from birds to buffalo, freezes in instinctive awe. This is not just a noise of dominance, it's an ancient message, one that predates civilization itself. The roar of a Bengal tiger is nature's own thunder, a reminder that somewhere out there, in the mist and moonlight, power still reigns untamed. The sound is unlike anything else on Earth. It's not just loud, it's deep, layered, primal. A Bengal tiger's roar can reach up to 114 decibels, as loud as a rock concert or a jet engine at takeoff. But more than its volume, it's the frequency that gives it its terrifying presence. The low-frequency vibrations, sometimes below what the human ear can fully perceive, can travel across the ground, through the air, even through the bones of creatures that hear it. You don't just hear a tiger's roar, you feel it resonating in your chest like the pulse of the jungle itself. And it can travel for miles, 2, sometimes 3, through dense forest and over riverbanks. A tiger can send its voice across vast distances, announcing its presence or warning rivals to stay away. Each roar carries meaning. Some signal territory, others call to mates or guide cubs through the night. It's a complex language of sound and power, communication wrapped in thunder. Imagine the scene: a humid night, the forest heavy with mist. You're standing near a river, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and life. The world is utterly still, and then it comes. That low rolling rumble growing deeper and louder until it splits the silence in two. For a moment, everything stops. Even the insects hold their breath. Your heart skips a beat, not in fear, but in awe, because you've just heard the heartbeat of the wild. For centuries, humans have tried to describe that sound. Ancient Indian texts called it the voice of Durga's guardian, a divine protector who roared to drive out darkness. In tribal folklore, people say the tiger's roar carries the souls of the jungle's ancestors, that every echo in the forest is a whisper of their strength. To modern science, it's evolution's perfect weapon, a vocalization so deep and powerful that it serves as both warning and song. But beyond its biological purpose, the roar holds emotion. Tigers roar not just to intimidate, but to connect. A mother will call softly to her cubs with a gentler version of the same tone, a low shuffling sound, warm and comforting, like thunder softened by distance. When males roar across territories, it's not mindless aggression, it's a conversation between giants. They're mapping invisible boundaries in the air, agreeing on dominion through sound alone. To stand in the presence of that roar is to understand humility. Humans, with our cities and machines, often believe we've conquered nature. Yet, in the deep jungle, one roar can undo that illusion. It strips you down to something primal, reminding you that this world was not built by us. We merely walk through it. The tiger's voice is a reminder of who truly owns the wild places, who truly understands balance, silence, and strength. There's something almost poetic about the way that roar fades. It doesn't end abruptly, it rolls off into the distance, echoing through valleys, bouncing off the trees, until it becomes part of the jungle's pulse again. You can almost imagine the leaves trembling in reverence, the river rippling with respect. When the echo finally dies, the silence that follows feels sacred, as if the world itself is bowing its head, and perhaps it should, because that roar, that mighty bone-shaking symphony, is more than sound. It's the voice of survival, the anthem of wilderness, the living echo of a species that has seen centuries rise and fall. When it calls out, the jungle answers, not with fear, but with recognition. So the next time the forest trembles and that deep thunder rolls through the trees, remember, you are hearing history itself. You are hearing strength distilled into sound, power carved into breath. You are hearing the soul of the jungle speak. The morning light seeps through the tangled canopy, breaking into a mosaic of gold and green. The forest hums softly, alive, breathing, ancient. Somewhere beyond the mist, a pair of golden eyes watch quietly from the shadows. They belong to one of the last great rulers of the earth, the Bengal tiger, the vanishing monarch of a fading empire. That there was a time when these magnificent creatures roamed freely from the snowy foothills of the Himalayas to the lush mangroves of the Sundarbans, from India's forests to the wild terrains of Bangladesh, Nepal, and Myanmar. Their roar once echoed across continents, but now silence has begun to settle where power once lived. With fewer than 3,000 left in the wild, every tiger you see is a survivor of centuries of conflict, not just against other beasts, but against humankind itself. The decline didn't happen overnight. It began slowly, quietly, just like the tiger itself moves. Hunters came first, men seeking trophies, power, and profit. The tiger's skin became a symbol of wealth, its bones and whiskers traded as superstition, its head mounted as pride. Then came the machines, the bulldozers, the axes, the burning fields. Forests turned into farmlands, rivers into roads, and the tiger's kingdom began to vanish tree by tree. What remained were patches of wilderness, fragments of what was once an endless empire of green, but the tiger did not give up. Evolution crafted not just for strength, but for resilience. When the forests shrank, the tiger adapted, learning to live near villages, crossing rivers to find food, swimming through mangroves to hunt fish and crabs. It became a master of survival, even in landscapes poisoned by human greed. Yet, with every step it takes now, danger lingers, snares hidden beneath leaves, traps disguised as safety, and the distant hum of humans growing louder. Each surviving Bengal tiger today carries within it the memory of thousands that came before, warriors of the wild who once ruled without fear. Scientists studying them often find more than data, they find stories etched in scars. One tiger might have a missing ear from a territorial battle. Another might have lost cubs to poachers. Each one bears marks of endurance, each heartbeat a testament to defiance. But hope still glimmers beneath the canopy. Conservationists, forest rangers, and local villagers now fight side by side to protect this living treasure. Sanctuaries like Jim Corbett, Ranthambore, Kaziranga, and Bandavgar have become fortresses of the wild. Here, the jungle still breathes with the rhythm of paws and roars. Hidden cameras capture mothers leading cubs through tall grass, males patrolling their land, and the next generation learning to stalk and survive. Technology, once the tiger's enemy, is now becoming its ally. GPS collars track their movements, drones watch for poachers, and awareness campaigns teach humans that coexistence is possible. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the numbers are beginning to rise in some regions. Every new cub born in the wild is a victory, a flicker of life in the shadow of extinction. Still, the threat remains. For every tiger born, another forest dies somewhere else. Every spark of progress must outrun a fire of destruction. The question is no longer just about saving a species, it's about saving balance itself. Because when the tiger disappears, so does the jungle. When the jungle dies, the rivers dry, the rains falter, the earth loses its lungs. The tiger is not just an animal, it is an anchor, holding the ecosystem together with its silent presence. When you look into a tiger's eyes, you don't just see an animal, you see time itself, you see the pulse of evolution, the echo of thunder, the reflection of a world that once belonged to the wild. The tiger's gaze is both haunting and humbling, as if it's asking a question we've avoided too long. Will you remember me when I'm gone? Because the truth is, the tiger doesn't need us, we need the tiger. Its survival is our redemption. Its roar is a heartbeat of the planet itself. And if that sound fades forever, so too will a piece of humanity's soul. The forest wind stirs, leaves fall gently like whispers of memory. Somewhere in the distance, a roar rises, low, powerful, eternal. It echoes through the trees, across rivers and valleys, as if the earth itself is speaking back. And as that sound fades into the horizon, one truth remains unshaken. The jungle is alive only as long as the tiger walks it.